Colleagues, I want to say I'm rising to still give life to this bill and to say that we should not throw away the baby with the bathwater. The President, in withholding assent to this bill, advanced two reasons: that of funding and that of security. In the axis of security, he did not disclose to Parliament what those security concerns are. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that we have to juxtapose the reasons advanced by Mr. President for withholding assent against the accruable benefits from the mandate of the Peace Corps, which have been well advanced by the sponsor of the bill. And in the area of funding, I want to say on the grounds of funding, the issue is simply for us to take that of opportunity cost, either to deny the Nigerian youths that are already captured by the Peace Corps employment, or we give them and create an opportunity for them. And we should not deny them this opportunity and yet brand them as being lazy. So I strongly want to support that we give life to this bill and allow it to go on a second reading. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Honorable
Speaker, honorable colleagues, you'll agree with me that the past couple of months and indeed years have brought about a lot of bloodshed, a lot of insecurity situations in our country. I happen to be a member of the Air Corps Parliament, and in a research that has been done in the Committee on Agri, it has been discovered that there's an expansion due to global warming of the desert areas, which is to say a lot of herdsmen and nomadic activities are going to keep coming into our country due to the fact that we have vegetation that is very rich. Right, Honorable Speaker, when I had that comment, or when I read that piece of research, I was very worried. Because indeed it has been established that we have very porous borders. It has been established that the amount of
silence, please,
per citizen,
order, honorable members, please,
inadequate.
Order.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, you can never have development where you have insecurity.
Honorable Zakari Galadima, please. Honorable Ali Jesse.
You can never have meaningful development where you have insecurity. And indeed, it behoves on us that we must take the necessary steps to put in place the necessary apparatus to guarantee our security. Why am I in support of the Peace Corps? Right, Honorable Speaker, a lot of money is
silence,
spent
please,
on social
Honorable Musa Soba,
nets.
please resume your seat.
It's being spent
Honorable Soba, please,
on social security nets in this country. A lot of stipends are being paid to people that we term as the poorest of the poor. What are they doing? Nothing. We have a scenario here where we can set up a corps, train them properly, even if they are deployed into village areas, to maintain the peace with some form of training. It will go a long way in mitigating the security challenges we're having. We have so much porous borders. We do not have the finance to maybe pay our immigration by employing so many people. By giving these people a reduced amount of money, by giving these people a reduced amount, a salary that is not as high as the police and other organizations, because their work would be restricted to mitigation and minimal security, addressing minimal security challenges. It would go a long way in strengthening the security apparatus. Lastly, let's beam our light on the ongoing war on terror in the northeast, particularly with regards to Boko Haram. there was a particular squad, if I may use that term, that were not formal security agencies, but they were assisting the military in carrying out this keeping the peace. Civilian JTF. And Right Honorable Speaker, I happen to be a member of the Committee on Army, and I had once led a team to Maiduguri, the northeast, the heart of where all this was happening, the theater. And I can tell you for a fact, there were praises for this civilian JTF. Why? Because of the work they were doing. I believe such agencies like the Peace Corps should be put in place, properly trained. And yes, probably their finance or what they will be paid will not be as high as what the formal or other agencies are collecting, but their responsibilities should be well pointed out. And I believe it will strengthen the security situation of this country. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
To these issues about security and what's the other one, about funding. And honorable colleagues, I want to appeal to us as leaders, when the matter is up for discussion, we should try and what was it called now? We should try and put focus on what was done rather than who did what. Because when you start looking at who did what, then you're verging on the edges of sycophancy. Look at the issues that were done. That is what we should be doing as leaders of the House, and know who did what. That is just my appeal. And we'll put the question. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Even though this not... No. I want to vary this. I don't have an opinion about this. As a matter of fact, I shouldn't hold an opinion. But the truth is that passing it today does not amount to anything. We still need... We still need to tax of the votes to be able to override the veto. You still need to tax. So it's better that I say this so that even if it goes, nobody should go under the mistaken belief that we have overwritten any veto. That's what I'm saying. So I have to issue that clarification first before I put the vote. I put it to vote, sorry. So those in favor of the motion that the bill be read a second time say aye. Those against it say nay. So the nays have it. So, honorable colleagues, this marks the end of the journey of